Hey guys, we just covered in our last video how to use the OpenAI API to do deep research on new leads that are coming in from our lead forms. But as we discussed, that is a very expensive way to do deep research. Some of our deep research reports will cost up to $2 or $3 per lead that we're researching. So today we're going to take a look at Perplexity as a low-cost alternative to OpenAI deep research and is still available via the Perplexity API for you to do deep research reports on those new leads or in any automation that you want to provide deep research as part of your automation. So let's go ahead and dive in to Make and look at how we can use Perplexity to power our deep research automations. All right, guys, now it's time to dive back into Make and take a look at our Perplexity Deep Research automation. So just like the OpenAI deep research automation, this automation is being triggered when a new lead fills out a form on my website requesting a consultation about building an AI automated workflow. Go figure, right? um, so every time someone fills out this form, it then kicks off this workflow, which the first step is we're asking Perplexity to do a deep research report on the company from which the person has requested a consultation from. And then the second deep research report that Perplexity is running is deep research into the AI automation that they're inquiring about. Now, for your business, this could be applied in the exact same manner. Just think that the first step is doing deep research on the company that has inbounded, filled out a form on your website. And the second step is you're doing deep research on their use case that they've indicated in their form fill is the reason for them inquiring or outreaching you today. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the configuration and how we've set up this deep research report. So you will add a Perplexity module to your workflow when setting up the Perplexity Deep Research report. When you do that, the first thing it's going to ask you for is obviously connect your API key. But then after that, you're going to select from the Perplexity models which model you're going to use. Sonar Deep Research is the only deep research model available, so select that. In the prompt, you will be providing the same prompt like we provided to OpenAI for creating your deep research report. Just basically research the company, their go-to-market motion, the products that they offer, and prepare a structured report about their business so that you have that intelligence going into your discovery call with them. As you scroll down, you can select the user type. Again, user assistant system. System is something you would select to give the model instructions as to how to perform its research. Act like you're a McKinsey consultant, act like you're a Boston Consulting Group consultant when doing your research. Maximum tokens. This is where we can, again, limit the cost by providing them maximum amount of tokens that we would like the model to use in its output. Search context size, I always use high with Perplexity just because this is a lower cost model. I figure why not let it do as much due diligence as possible and gather as many sources as possible to create the best output possible. So that's just my personal preference. If you keep scrolling down, there's a lot of other filters and criteria that you can apply. I'm not really using any of these things for the purposes of today's demo. If you wanted to add system instructions, you can just add an item, add your system instructions, select system, say act like a BCG consultant when doing your research. Apply all BCG methodologies. All right, and there you go. So we can then let Perplexity do the research report. We're having it then output its research report into a Google Doc for us. It then runs the next research report, which is a research report for doing research on the AI automation that the user has requested to look into with me, that they're interested in me working with them on. That again spits out its report into another Google Doc, which then outputs both links into my lead tracking Google Sheet, where I keep track of all the inbound leads that have filled out my forms. And then finally, it kicks off a Slack notification to me, letting me know that a new, someone has filled out my form, their first name, last name, and then their company name with links to the deep research report. So that looks like this. I have a new leads channel set up in this demo Slack where you can see it dropped in both of the research report links, and those are then available in my Google Doc. Now it's outputting this as raw text from Perplexity, so it may not be formatted in a really nice way. You could add a couple of steps into your workflow here as a pro tip, where you might add in another AI agent to format the report, right? So if we wanted to, um, add in like a Gemini agent here to format our report prior to it going into the Google Doc, you could do a Gemini step, and then just select your Gemini model and ask it to do a little bit of cleanup on the Perplexity report. So please format this report in uh, HTML5 so that the formatting will look nice in a Google Doc. And then just report to format. And then you can just put your Perplexity report here, go down choices, messages, content, save. And then instead of the Perplexity report, if we wanted a nice report formatted from Google Gemini, you can do that instead. So hit save. And that really solves any issue you have with your report looking kind of funky. When it comes over from Perplexity, Gemini can just do a quick run through, clean that thing up for you, and you are good to go. So yeah, just a quick pro tip, add in a formatting agent into your workflow. You have a nicer looking output. But yeah, that's how you can use Perplexity at about 1/10 the cost of running an OpenAI research report. Perplexity can run a deep research report in lieu of OpenAI, save you a lot of money if you're receiving leads at a large scale and you want to pay a couple of pennies instead of a couple of dollars per research report. I would consider using Perplexity instead of OpenAI just because it is wildly less expensive. I would consider using OpenAI in cases where you want to go very, very deep, go the extra mile, have extended thinking from the O3 model or the O4 mini model, where you may get a bit of a richer output, but it's a trade-off between what's good enough to provide the intel that you need for your automation and the cost, right? So like you're talking about 10x the cost. Are you really getting 10x the output? That's just a question you'd have to answer by experimenting with these different deep research reports, and perhaps before choosing which API you want to go with for your automation, you could try running your prompt in the console. If you're a subscriber to OpenAI and a subscriber to Perplexity, you could go into both of those consoles, input your prompt, and see what it generates for you. and use that as a quick test to see which model is going to be the one that you prefer for your automation. Again, automations, they get expensive, they can scale quickly. So just be careful about which one you select, and be careful about your reload on your credit card and your token credits in your API, so that you don't automatically get reloaded indefinitely, and have some bad actor run up a big bill on your credit card by doing like a DDoS attack on your website and kicking off this workflow to run 100 1,000 times, and all of a sudden you get your credit card gets pinged for $1,000. So just be careful. Make sure that you have your auto reloads set up to only auto reload so many times per day, or so many times per month, and set a maximum reload threshold of maybe a couple $100 or something that you're comfortable with, so that again, you don't get that surprise bill from something funky happening with your automation. So if you like this content and you want to see more videos like this, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what other kinds of videos you'd like to see in the future. And as always, guys, have a great day.